street in Orlando might not look like much, but it's home to a champion. No, not Orlando Pirates, but Aphiwe Tuku. Aphiwe has been fencing for over 7 years and is a 3-time national champion. Aphiwe doesn't earn any money from playing the sport, but does it for the love of the game. Let's meet Aphiwe. Aphiwe, thank you so much for inviting us into your home. It's such a pleasure to be here today and get to know a little bit more about Aphiwe Tuku. So tell us a bit about your life. Where did you grow up and find your way here into your home where we are today?
Okay, I was born in Eastern Cape. I lived there until I came in grade 4, and then I came this side because I was doing school. From grade 4 until now, I was doing school. And then from 2011, I started doing fencing.
Okay.
Until now,
So the idea to leave the Eastern Cape and come here to Gauteng, was it just to get a better education, a better quality of life?
Yeah, it was to get a better education and study a lot, yes.
And was that your mom's decision?
Yeah, it was my parents' decisions, yes.
So you spoke about your fencing career. Why fencing? I mean, lots of people in Orlando play football, some even rugby, but why fencing?
Because fencing is different, unique. No one knows fencing, especially black people. So that's why I decided to play it, because I loved it.
So you live here with your 2 brothers.
Yes.
What's it like being the rose amongst the thorns?
Oh, it's very nice. They do listen. We do talk everything, yeah. It's nice living with them.
And you have a younger brother and an older brother, so tell us a bit more about them.
My older brother is working now, and my younger brother is at school doing matric. And he's also doing fencing also.
Is he better than you?
No, I'm better than him. No, I'm the better one.
So do you help motivate each other and you help your brother in competition? Tell us a bit more about that.
Yeah, we do help each other, because whenever I'm fencing, he do tells me some things, and whenever he's fencing, I also tell him what to do. Yeah.
Is your mom back home? Tell us a bit about her and what she thinks about you getting involved in fencing.
My mom is living in Eastern Cape with my grandmother. They didn't like it at first because they think it was dangerous and everything. But I do explain what it was fencing and show them some pictures and videos. They do understand and they do support me.
Do they think it's cool?
Yeah, they do, because it's unique. Yeah.
And do you get to go home to see the family? I'm sure you miss them a lot.
Yeah, I
here.
do miss them a lot. I only go in December because we go to school and there's no money like every time to go to Eastern Cape. Only in December go to Eastern Cape.
Aphiwe, you've been a national champion 3 times. You have a career spanning 7 years and obviously a lot more to come. I'm seeing already about 100 medals here in your home. You've already been so successful.
Okay, come on, let me show you, madam.
Aphiwe, these are absolutely beautiful. So tell us about your career. What has been the highlight so far?
Since from 2014, I was busy with these medals. And the first one that I got from African Games. This is the one from Egypt. I was a cadet that time. And then these ones are from here around Gauteng,
okay,
when I'm playing competitions. And these ones are from Arnold. You know Arnold?
Yes, yes. So did you get to meet Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yes, I did. Yeah, such a cool guy. Hey? These ones, all of them from 2015 or 16 years.
Oh, wow.
And also this one, and from all African Games. Yeah.
Fantastic.
We won gold for teams. Yes.
What would you say has been your career highlight so far? Like, what has been the best competition?
The best competition was all African Games. That was the best one. I loved it.
And then you've been a 3-time national champion. Just fell short this year.
Yeah.
But what is your secret to success? What makes you such a good fencer? What are your strengths?
My strength, I train a lot. I focus on fencing, and whenever there's a competition, I do relax before I fence. I don't get too much, I can say, excitement when I'm fencing. I focus. That's my thing.
And tell us about your coach. Coach Hawkins, if I understand, is your coach, and he's taken you up to this highest level. Tell us about your relationship with him and how he's helped you become a better fencer.
Coach Hawkins is the person who introduced me into fencing. He taught me everything about fencing that I know now. He taught me the first step of fencing and everything, how to do fencing, how to fence. That's Hawkins, and I have a good relationship with him.
Fencing has obviously opened up a lot of doors for you. I mean, you got to travel overseas. I'm sure it's the first time you got to travel on a plane, and a lot of other things. Tell us more about that.
It is good to travel a lot, because I do see some new people, get to know many people, get to know many sports, and then get to see a lot of places in South Africa. But most of the time I do have to feed my family and do some other things, and fencing doesn't give me that. So sometimes I think of leaving fencing and get some job because fencing is not giving me anything.
Aphiwe, you've just finished your training. What does a day of training look like for you?
It's tiring because I have to train like 2 hours a day, like 3 times a week, so it is tiring. Yes.
So I know the nationals are over, but you still have some competitions left for the year, one of those being the Commonwealth Games of Fencing. What are some of the things that you need to improve in your game?
I need to improve in my strength and focus the way I fence and then my technique.
I know Coach Hawkins introduced you to the sport and he often coaches you, but you also train in Randburg with a coach from Russia. It's good to get that international experience, especially somebody who's been around the world. So tell us about some of the things that he taught you.
He taught me the way people fence from outside, the way they have technique and the way they fence, like the speed, the strength and everything is.
Tell us about some of the techniques.
The techniques you have to like focus on how your hand on or wrist need to turn upside down, and also the way you move faster and slowly. Yes.
That's fantastic. It's a very tactical game. You've got to be thinking while you're doing the physical.
Yes.
Tell us about how difficult that is.
It is difficult because you have to fence and think at the same time, and that is very hard when you're doing it. Yeah.
Aphiwe, you mentioned something when we were still at home about possibly giving up fencing. Why would you want to give up something that you love?
I want to give up fencing because it doesn't have any money. Like, I don't get anything from fencing. I do love it, but I need to support my family and myself. So that's why I decided to leave fencing and then just looking for a job or get studying.
So what do you do during the daytime now while you're not training?
If I'm not training, I'm just sitting at home watching TV, nothing else.
Do you think it's unfair that you give so much to represent your country on an international level and you can't even get a little stipend when you go out for competitions?
Yeah, I think it's unfair because we do represent South Africa. We do put South Africa out there so people can see that we do represent South Africa, but we don't get anything. It is unfair.
Why do you think there's no money in the sport?
I think there is money, but it can't get to us. I don't know how, but there is money in fencing.
Do you feel that maybe that money is not coming to you guys because you are from Soweto and the Soweto Fencing Club, and maybe going to other fencing schools around the country, even though you are probably better than all the kids in those fencing schools?
Yeah, because in Soweto, I mean, and we do deserve like some lot of things. We need more things because we don't have funding. That's why we do need money from fencing.
That's very unfortunate. What does your coach say to you when you say that you want to give up fencing? Because you are a national champion and you've got so much potential for the future.
Whenever I'm telling him about fencing, he's also telling me that I should not leave fencing because whenever I get a job, I will not do much than fencing. So he can't understand anything about my life.
What are your goals and your dreams for the future, Aphiwe?
My goals for the future, I need to study. Like, I was looking for fencing to be my career, but now I have lost hope in fencing. So I will just look for a job and get studying. That will be my future.
So does that mean no Olympics, no Commonwealth Games, no World Champs for you?
For this year, I think I will go in Commonwealth. I'm not sure for next year because I will be studying. So that will be 2 things. Things need to go out.
What will you be studying?
I'll be studying IT or sports management.
That's fantastic. I'm sure with everything you've achieved so far, your mom and your grand back home must be so proud of you.
Okay, everyone in my family is so proud of me because I've been in places and doing some other things. But the only thing that they are not proud of is because I'm not making anything to fencing. That's why they're not proud. But they are very proud of me. They are very supportive.
Aphiwe, thank you for taking time out of your very busy schedule, your busy day to speak to us. You've enlightened us on the sport of fencing because not a lot of people know about fencing, and also you've exemplified passion and love for a sport even though you get very little back. Thank you very much.
And thank you for having me too.